Hey everyone, welcome to the M&R show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Malcolm.
And today we're doing our predictions. I know it's been a long time since we dropped our NFL predictions, but today they are back. And this time we're going to be giving you all 32 teams every single week. And we're going to be doing a special shout out to 5 teams that we consider primetime / close matchups. Now, the first matchup is Dallas versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Malcolm.
I mean, hey, sorry, that's easy. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, we see they're the better team coming to the field, and Zach Martin is gone because of COVID. So it's an easy answer.
Yeah, I also have Tampa Bay. They're also an 8-point favorite. Not in football, that's a very big favorite. That's over a touchdown. Next matchup, Eagles, Falcons.
I got the Falcons winning this one. Like Matt Ryan, like what they have, Kyle Pitts and them boys, and I think their defense will be improved. So Falcons.
Yeah, I really don't like this year's Eagles team at all. Like maybe Jalen Hurts turns into Cam Newton or something like that. I think that's what Eagle fans have been trying to preach on Twitter. But I'm going to pick the Falcons because I just don't like the Eagles team at all.
Well, based off the completion percentage, they could be the same. Cause,
no, literally.
But other than that, no, he's not Cam Newton. But
exactly. So now we have Steelers versus the Buffalo Bills. You have
those Steelers things. I think it's gonna be the Steelers, but nah, it's gonna be Buffalo. I think Buffalo definitely is a better team right now, and Steelers dealing with T.J. Watt and his contract dispute. And I just think that the offensive line playing against that defensive line for Buffalo will give them some problems. So definitely Buffalo.
Yeah, 100% Buffalo. Pittsburgh. Now, I'm excited to see Najee Harris and see what he can do against a good defense in the Buffalo Bills. But overall, I don't know how close this game will actually end up being by the end of the fourth quarter. So, we have to wait and see on that one. Now,
it'll be a close game.
Yeah, so now we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Bengals. Well, I think it's a somewhat close matchup. This isn't on our prime list yet. But what do you think about the Vikings and the Bengals?
I think Kirk Cousins is going to come out and get his first one of the season.
Yes, I really wanted to pick the Bengals here, but the offensive line is frightening. So literally, I'm going to take the Vikings off of that alone, and Dalvin Cook is going to destroy the Bengals D-line without Geno Atkins. Now, for our first primetime M&R matchup of the week is the Cardinals versus the Tennessee Titans.
See, y'all might think I'm crazy, but I think that I like the Cardinals. I think I like the Cardinals in this game. First thing first, Tennessee does not have a good pass rush, and they're going to have struggle be able to contain Kyler Murray. Their secondary for Tennessee Titans is a little questionable, even though they added some decent pieces in the offseason. I just think that Arizona's offense got a lot better. And for the defensive wise, Arizona defense is sneaky good, to be honest. Number one, last year they was tied for fourth in sacks, and it was third in pressure percentage. They just added J.J. Watt to the equation, so that defense could be a lot better in the pass rushing department. And Chandler Jones only played 5 games last year. And you have the secondary, which is mid-shape is different now because the 2 starters were out, 2 starters left. But at the end of the day, this still can be an average to good defense, and I think it can hold up against these Tennessee Titans with these behemoths and then Julio Jones, Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to still go with the NASCAR team, Tennessee Titans. I do like what the Cardinals have done. They have a lot of weird body types on defense. Like with Collins, he's 260 playing linebacker. Isaiah Simmons is a safety playing linebacker. You got Budda Baker's 5'8". The scariest thing about them though is just that the Malcolm Butler, I usually say he's going through a lot mentally with his family, so he would not be at this game. So we're reaching out to him and everything like that. But he's definitely a big loss for the secondary, and I just don't think this is a good matchup. This to be down a corner against this team is very costly because it's just you have Julio, AJ. They did lose Jonnu Smith, and they did lose the right tackle Conklin 2 years ago. So maybe the pass rush can get home enough, and maybe Kyler Murray can score enough points. I think this will be a close matchup, but I do have Tennessee by 3.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll lean on Derrick Henry, because Cardinals, J.J. Watt is very good against the run, so I'm pretty sure they'll be improved. But they were mid-tier in rushing defense last year. I think J.J. Watt definitely helps them, but I want to definitely see that.
Thing it is, Chandler Jones only played 5 games last year too.
This
so
is also
he's
true.
coming back healthy, so he's hungry for a contract. So
yes.
So yeah.
All right, now to our next matchup. Not that much prime time, but still a good matchup. Is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Detroit Lions and the new quarterback, Jared Goff. Malcolm.
I mean, San Francisco should easily beat this. Detroit won 5 games last year and got considerably worse this year. So I think San Francisco should not have any problems with this. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think this is going to be close at all. I have Raheem Mostert on fantasy, so I'm not hoping. I hope this thing is just a little closer. They can keep running the ball. But besides that factor, I think this is going to be really bad. And Jimmy G is going to look, I think, very good. And I'm really like, what are they doing with the passing game in Detroit? Like, Tyrell Williams is the one right now.
TJ Hockenson will have a big year, so whoever has that, he's probably the number 1 target for their team right now.
Okay, now on to a not so good offensive line versus an amazing offensive line, which will be the Seattle Seahawks versus the Indianapolis Colts. Who do you think comes out of this matchup? And I'm not sure if Wentz is playing. It has not been reported yet.
Well, from my understanding, if Wentz is playing, I think that Colts are going to win. I like this Colts team. I think that they're well balanced, especially with the pass rush. You probably think like, man, they have a bunch of unknowns on this pass rush, but at the end of the day, every single year, these unknowns are very good. Very good. So with that pass rush against the Seattle Seahawks offensive line, I think that it will definitely go home against Russell Wilson. He would just be running around the whole field. But this offense right now, they got their offensive coordinator from the Rams? I think it was the Rams or the 49ers. And he's basically more about running the football and stuff like that. So Chris Carson will have a lot of opportunities in this game to be able to be effective against the Colts. But at the end of the day, I just got to pick up the Colts because I like the team, and I just think that if Carson Wentz is there week 1, I think we should not have any problems of him, losing his first game.
Yeah, I mean, the Seattle defense is not that good. I just think the offense will be able to make up that versus more of a balanced team. I think the Colts are like that two-way wing in basketball. Like, they good on both sides. Maybe not an absolute star, but they're really good at both sides. And like you said, on defense, somehow they don't have that many big names, but they're always like a top 15 group minimum. So, like, I'm not really worried about the unit at all. And you still have Darius Leonard, who they just paid a lot of money to lead the defense.
And who's the quarterback in Seattle?
Oh, yeah. And they lost Griffin.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. The only reason why I'm not going to kill Seattle is only because with Pittman, he's their one right now. Because T.Y. Hilton's not even playing in this game. Like, he's been ruled out. So, like, it's not the craziest bad matchup for them. And Russ Wilson is kind of used to always running around. And they just paid Dwayne Brown his little money. He got $12 million. He's feeling good. He got an extra year at it. Congrats, Dwayne Brown. So, and Russ Wilson is freaking probably prayed for that one. So, I think they'll be able to pull off, and I'm really looking for DK Metcalf to have a really big year. And like you said, Chris Carson, hopefully he plays even close to 17 games. So, we'll see if that can happen. But if he does, a big season. And I think DK, people really feel about Tyler Lockett too. Like, he's like damn near afterthought in this team now. But besides that point, I think DK Metcalf is going to have a really big year. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. All right, now this is a really big matchup coming up. This is another M&R primetime matchup. It's going to be the LA Chargers versus the Washington football team. Malcolm.
Hey man, I don't want to be a biased person.
Well.
But let me tell you something. This defense in Washington football could be the best in the league next year. They have an improved offense, and they're playing against an improved team with a new head coach. A new head coach just means an improved team, because Anthony Lynn and his time management was a disaster last year. And Justin Herbert still played good. So that says a lot about him as a player, and more to the coach of how he did. So I like this Chargers team, but I just think that Washington would just have enough to eat this through. I think that San Diego pass coverage was just a little shaky last year. You should have a Curtis Samuel coming back. You still got Terry McLaurin. You still have Logan Thomas. this improved Washington football team receiving core. You have a better and competent quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's going to be able to throw the ball downfield to open up opportunities for Antonio Gibson. The only problem that I have with the Chargers right now is their pass rush. We see that Joey Bosa is on the other end, which he's a very good player. But since Ingram left, who's going to replace him? So that's a problem that we have to think about. But other than that, I just think that Washington football team is going to squeeze out this one. It'll be a close game, but Washington football team will squeeze out.
Yeah, this is, I think, from what I've looked up from at least Yahoo odds, this is the closest point for us, 1 point. So this game is coming down to a game in the field goal, is what was Vegas thinks, at least. So this is a very close game. I am going to pick the Washington football team. Now, I think they're a really bad matchup for the Chargers. Really bad. I think the Chargers have, what you say, a top 5 worst O-line in the league. It's a really bad unit. So I think it's really just a terrible matchup for them. Of course, Herbert is probably gonna make something. He's okay, he's made this crazy play. But so he's gonna probably keep it close. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sacked 5 times. And then we're getting the real big buzz, and everything from that. Of course, we know Keenan Allen is gonna have a game. Washington has good corners, but it's Keenan Allen. He's just somehow he's a 4-8 guy, but he's always open. So it's just I think he'll have a good game though, and Eckler too. But
yeah, one thing I can say is the offensive line improved. They got the center from Green Bay, who's a very good center last year for Green Bay.
Corey Leslie.
And they got Rashawn Slater in the draft, which, if you understand, Rashawn Slater, when he was in college, played against Chase Young, did a marvelous job again. Now, I understand it's college, but at the end of the day, this is some stuff that you have to look up to as a Chargers fan playing against Washington football team. Chase Young. So this is an improved offensive line from last year. So I think that, are they going to give up a lot of sacks? No, but pressure-wise, I think Washington football team's defensive pressure, especially the continuity that they have on that defensive line, I think that will give Fitz and have Justin Herbert up with a lot of pressure throughout the game.
Yeah, you're right. They did add a lot of pieces. I'm really interested. First, if I say that Rashawn Slater versus Chase Young tape one more time on Twitter, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. Literally. I think, not that Slater is not amazing, because we had him, what is our number? I think we both had him as the number 2 tackle in the class. So not that he's not a stud, and he's had an amazing camp, at least what the coaches said. But what else is he gonna say? But you know what I'm saying. And they did add, I think they have Bulaga too, who's the right tackle. Little old, but what they're coming from last year was the bottom. So hopefully it's a better unit. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I'm definitely tuned in. This is a 1:00 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. It will be. Well, definitely.
Definitely get tuned in, or NFL Red Zone game, if we all if we're all tuned into that. So definitely a good game.
Yeah.
All right, now to our next matchup. Not as exciting. The Jets versus the Panthers. Now Darnold is going back home, so it'd be cool to see Darnold versus old team. What do you have out of that game?
The Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to win this one, and I like their defense. I think that their defense wildly improved, especially with the cornerback that they got from the draft. I think
Jason Horn.
Yeah, J.C. Horn. I think he's a lot down corner. I think he proved a lot in the preseason that he could be a very good player. But I do like the Panthers. I think they're going to be sneaky good, maybe a little mid-average team this year, but I think that they're going to be able to come out with a win.
Yeah, now see the NFL reporting wizard, Tony Romo, as he is now on TV, says Zach Wilson will be a top 5 QB within the next 2 years. Don't know if he'll be that good that fast, but everything Romo says comes to be true.
Hey, you give me a little Tony Romo vibe, to be honest.
Hey, I'm gonna say yeah. So we're going to see. I do not have the win week 1 though. I don't think them and the Panthers are on the same level of a team right now. I think the Panthers have a better team. Like Malcolm's already talked about. That receiving core in the Panthers, DJ Moore is one of the most underrated receivers in the league. He's always had a 1,000-yard season. He's just like Calvin Ridley, somebody people don't talk about. That's very good. They're the same draft class. So we're really going to see, hopefully, him unlock with a decent quarterback this year. Now, the next matchup, it shouldn't take too much time at all. It's a very different matchup. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans.
Jesus. But, yikes. It's definitely going to be Jacksonville.
Yeah, Texas might be the worst team in the league. I mean, let's just talk about
Right.
Tyrod Taylor is a starting quarterback. David Johnson is a starting running back. And Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins are no longer on the team. And Randall Cobb's not on the team anymore. It's just not a good unit. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, which is crazy because this is another regular season. His regular season winning streak continues on of never losing a regular season game. So it just continues on since high school. So now,
that's good though.
Yeah, definitely good though. Now our new two matchups, our primetime matchups again. So we have the Browns versus the Chiefs and the Dolphins versus the Patriots. I think it was good to talk about both these two teams at the same time, these two matchups at the same time. So what do you think about both of those matchups?
For the Browns and the Chiefs, I think this would be such a good matchup, but I think this game will be based off the running game. If you look about this, they have two high-profile offenses where they have the stacked receiver core of both sides. But I think one thing that's going to be able to calm these two offenses down is them using the run game. And we look at Cleveland Browns and see what they have in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Though that duo will be able to give Chiefs some fits now. And I really have the Chiefs winning this game, but I won't be surprised if the Browns win.
Yeah, I definitely I think it'll be very close. I think the Browns will definitely cover. It's going to be a very close spread, like you said. But it's just probably going to be a low-key like a trenches battle. Maybe it could be high scoring, but I could see this maybe being like a 25-20 game type of game. Very possible, if lower than people think. I mean, the Chiefs also have invested in their O-line as well. I think that's like a top 10 unit, I would say. The Browns just have the number one unit, of course, but the Chiefs have a really good unit as well. And CEH didn't have his best year last year. I think he'll, second year, know the system better. He's still a good receiving back. He can run between the tackles. I think he'll improve. Mecole Hardman also, I think, has some room for improvement. I think he'll also improve this year. Mahomes will have more timing, which is extremely scary because it's just his play style is amazing to have more time to process information. So I think the Chiefs will win the game, like Malcolm said. But again, the Browns are a really good team and probably a top 3 team in the AFC as well.
And you know what's so crazy though? The Chiefs last year, they really ranked top 5 in sacks.
Yeah.
They really wasn't. They really wasn't a bad offensive line last year. They got better. Mecole Hardman is going to be able to get more opportunities with Sammy Watkins gone. So I mean, there's things to go around. I think there's going to be good opportunities going on with this team. So yeah.
Yeah. Now again for our next matchup, which is also prime time, it will be Dolphins Patriots. Very close matchup.
Ooh, this is like, think of this. This is like the battle of the Alabama quarterbacks. This is like the battle of the Patriots assistants versus the Patriots coach. The Patriots coach. So it's just like so much stuff going on, so much a battle between these two, and this is a division matchup. So it's gonna be a very good game to watch. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the Patriots. I think that the Patriots, I like Mac Jones. I really do. And, if you look at what I said about pre-draft, I really like him. I think that he would be perfect for Josh McDaniels in his offense. They improve with Nelson Aguilar. They have different other receivers that they picked up still. You still have, they traded Sony Sale. So they had Damian Harris just only there, and Damian Harris was good last year. He was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. So you have that. The offensive line is a very good run blocking team. They might have a little bit of problems in pass rushing, but with Matt Jones, he gets the ball out quick, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. But I like this team, and Bill Belichick always beat his assistants for some reason. So especially when he has a competent team, he definitely will beat his assistants. I like Miami, but I just think that their defense last year was a one-time wonder because they just created a lot of turnovers, but they was one of the worst in the league as far as yards per game and how many yards they allowed. So I just think that's a problem. I think that doesn't hold up. That doesn't hold up for another year. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely very tough. I think this is really tough. I think this is going to one of another closest ones of the week because New England, I think, is going to be really good this year. Dolphins, I think, will also be good this year. I think these are both 10-win teams. So it's definitely going to be tough. I'm going to actually go with the New England Patriots as well. I'm going to go with them. It's really just based on the Bill Belichick versus assistant statistic. He just doesn't lose against his assistants. That is kind of the only reason why I'm even picking this team, because I think the matchups are very close. I'm just going to ride with that stat alone, and hopefully that works out. Now, but he also has struggled against the Dolphins historically. Out of all the other teams in this division, it's been the Dolphins that he struggled with historically. But I still think they'll win this game, so I'm going to pick the New England Patriots.
I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, okay. Now to another primetime matchup. We got the Denver Broncos versus the New York Giants. Another very close matchup that people really aren't talking about.
Because I don't really think you should overthink the Denver Broncos. I think the Denver Broncos are going to win because that pass rush against this failing offensive line, poorest offensive line in New York Giants, which they fail to even try to improve or look at in the offseason, but try to improve the weapons around. Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life. And we've seen this preseason. He's going to throw some picks this season. And we have to see if Kenny Galladay and his hamstring is going to be working out where they had injuries in camp. So we have to see how they hold up. But Denver Broncos is going to win this game. And I don't really think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think Denver Broncos is going to actually embarrass the Giants this weekend. I think Thomas is dang near going to be debating retirement. I guess going against Von Miller and Chubb. He's looked terrible in the preseason, which is crazy. I didn't think he would be this bad in the league. I thought he was decent. Like, come out in the draft, I'm like, all right, he's big guy, Georgia. Okay. He's looked terrible. I don't know what they're doing in New York. Because Nate Soldier also hasn't looked good since he's gotten there. So it's something that they're doing there. And Jason Garrett is the offensive coordinator. So that just doesn't give me any type of motivation.
Yo, guy.
They'll adjust it. Anything on the fly, they'll be adjusting. So whatever they show with the first quarter is what the game is going to be for them. I'm very nervous for the Giants. And for Daniel Jones is like back because he'll be running a lot. So we're going to see about this one. And, I know we have a lot of Broncos fans that watch the show. So they feel some love. There you go. All right. Now we got, our last 3 matchups aren't prime time, but they're still very important. So we wanted to adjust them before we end the episode. The first is the Green Bay versus Saints matchup.
I think Green Bay is going to win this one. I really like what Jameis Winston has done. I think Jameis Winston could be a very good player, especially this season. Saints might, raise some eyebrows this season, but Green Bay is still the best team, the better team. And I think Green Bay is going to win this one.
Yeah, I have Green Bay. The Saints, good team, missing too many people, new quarterback, no Michael Thomas. You have to go Green Bay. Now to the next team, we have the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Rams.
For Andy Dalton's going to be running for his life because nobody's going to stop Aaron Dalton. And we were talking about running for his life. I think Andy Dalton's just like, y'all, I'm running for my life. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. The Rams is just a better team. Matthew Stafford is just going to have a very good game with this secondary that the Bears have. Even though Kyle Fuller was there last year, there still was a mediocre type of secondary. So the Rams are going to easily win this one. Matthew Stafford is going to have a very good game, first game of the season.
Yeah, this might actually get Andy Dalton benched. I think how bad of a game he's going to have. I predicted that, I think, last episode or 2 episodes ago. I think he's going to have a atrocious game. So it's not going to be good at all for him. And this is actually the 8:20 game on Sunday. So everyone in the world will see it. So if he plays bad, they're going to put the pressure on him to be benched.
But Justin Fields does not need to come in the game. Is what I'm.
Oh no, not this game.
No, I hope people bring Justin Fields. No, he's going to get killed by Aaron Donald.
Not this game. No, not at all. But anyway, our last matchup is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. So,
Baltimore Ravens. The Las Vegas Raiders. They remind me of the Washington football team. Just the way they do things is just weird. Like, they remind me of how the Washington team was before. They remind me of Jay Gruden, Washington football team. It's so crazy.
Jay Gruden team.
John Gruden. The Gruden's on the team.
Yeah. Plus, they did lose a running back, but they do have Lamar Jackson still. So, the running game, I think, is no matter what happens to running backs, he's going to be able to run the ball too. They don't want him to do that, but he can. And I think he's gonna really destroy. Like, I think this won't be that close. Like, if people think it is. I think it's like maybe a 10-point game. Because the Ravens just do this to teams week 1. They're just so good in these early season matchups. And like you said, what is John Gruden doing? Like, they've cut another 3rd round pick. How are your 3rd round picks within 1 year being cut? Those were some depth players.
They had 3 3rd round picks last year. 2 of them are gone. They only have 1.
Come on, bro.
Like, come on. Let's think about that. That's crazy. Like,
the saddest thing is that Mike Mayock used to be on TV telling us what we should be looking for in the draft. I'm going to end the episode like that because I've literally, like, I just want you to sit on that. If you made it to the end, type in the comments about the Mike Mayock thing and we'll know you made it to the end. But anyway, you know, make sure you all are still sharing our podcast with your friends and subscribing. Malcolm.
Hey, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Malc and Ron Show. So we have new power rankings coming out each week. So stay tuned in. And at the end of the season, we're going to be able to do, you know, how many wins each person have between Malcolm and Ron. So y'all listen to me. I know I'm about to win this.
Yes.
So
I'm ready.
Tune in. So we'll see. But yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. I see y'all.